around NZQA codes, and I personally grew up in high school, did not have any education on official screenwriting, so I thought that was quite important. The next one. The next section is the multiple events they host in the year. So as I mentioned before, there's the NZWG Screenwriters Workshop, which occurs on multiple dates during the year. It's basically, as I said, you meet all the board members and they talk to you about future changes in the screenwriters' contracts. They also have an open discussion about what you'd like to see changing in the industry and how to get your voice for your rights. And then secondly, there is another workshop called Know Your Rights. It includes a series of breakout sessions covering topics like intellectual property and copyright, the difference between employer and contract, career information, and more. And then the next event is the Table Reads, which occurs, which works on bringing writers, directors, and actors together. This is where writers can submit a full-length draft feature script to their email and go into the drawer to have a professional table read and get advice from professionals on your script, as well as having actors read your script. And then another event is the Creative Collaboration in Action, which is an interactive online training program for writers and producers. It occurs over a 4-month period where many professionals from the industry deliver knowledge and skills necessary to build strong creative partnerships. So it's basically about creating more contacts within the industry. Next page. Next one. Lastly is their page on encouraging writers to apply for the SEED grants. SEED is for unproduced writers with more than 90 minutes of credited and produced scripted work. They are offered over 2 rounds with a total of 4 grants of $12,500 per year for the development of feature film scripts. It is funded by the New Zealand Film Commission to create opportunities for writers to make a feature film script that they believe in. Yeah.
Alright, so has the New Zealand Writers Guild been successful in their mission? Short answer, yes. By providing fresh writers and experienced writers alike with the proper legal information they need to agree on a pitch, pricing and contract, it has saved so many writers getting scammed out of their ass. But there's still room for improvement. For example, the New Zealand Writers Guild is wanting to push on the writer's right to protest. The fact that this is the issue isn't right. And they are also looking to, their next steps is looking at overseas placements for writers, because a lot of overseas corporations that come here to New Zealand they usually bring a script that has been already written overseas and their crews. So there's not a lot of opportunities at home, save for the stuff that is created within New Zealand. So that's a very important thing they're working on. And also vigilance of the changing in government powers, because the New Zealand Writers Guild lobbies for laws in Parliament for laws that help the writers' work experience. And there are some political parties that are opposed to these laws. For example, Labour has been in support of this, but say if different political parties go through, there may be changes in situation that the New Zealand Writers Guild will need to adapt to. Second slide. So this experience of a staff member within the guild. Each of the board members represents a region of New Zealand, and much like the student reps, every so often they gather together with the heads of the Writers Guild and they each discuss on the current state of affairs for writers, as well as on the opportunities within different regions of New Zealand. Like there's a representative for the South Island and Wellington, of which our teacher Renee Labas was a board member for Wellington for a time before he came up here to teach us and represent from here in Auckland. And as to quote a board member of whom I had the pleasure of interviewing, the experience has been good. Next slide. So, why should you sign up? As mentioned before, there's a monthly newsletter of which provides among networking opportunities where you can meet and greet with like all sorts of directors, producers, anyone that a writer will need to know within the industry. It's a business it's not who you know, it's who knows you. There's also opportunities for writers' workshops where writers gather to work on their writing craft, critique and help each other grow as creative storytellers. There are also public talks from experienced professionals in the industry that you're guaranteed to learn some valuable information from should you attend those classes or talks. And also writing competitions, of which you may get a small chance to win some cash prizes or some other cool rewards if your script is up to scratch. Next slide. In addition, you have access to the script library, as previously mentioned, which you have an abundance of the it's online as well as in the student Unitec library, and you can have access to any film script that you can read over to improve your craft through reading. As well as this library, once you register your writing in for the cost of $20, your ideas will be protected from idea theft. So, for examples, you put your idea out there, someone says, "Oh, I like that, I'm going to plagiarize it." You can, by putting your ideas in here, they will have a date of when your writing was created. So if you do suspect someone's plagiarizing your works and you need to take legal action, this can help you greatly in that. The producer list, access to producers' contact details, so you can pitch your script to them, as well as get your negotiation to get your script produced. Very helpful resource. And of course, once you sign up, they'll have a sit down with you where you get career advice from industry professionals, and they have a talk on where you want to take your career in writing to. Next slide. So, and I'd like to interrupt this slideshow for a special thanks to Renee Labas, board member of the New Zealand Writers Guild, for allowing me to interview him for our piece. And if nobody's reading for Olivia, I'm happy to continue. Yep, since Olivia is absent, I shall be reading in her stead. So, as stated before, New Zealand Writers Guild is important to New Zealand writers who want to learn more about screenwriting, and as Madhu said before, the Guild provides support and information for those who are interested in entering the industry. They work alongside with the Editors and Directors Guild, which makes them fit into the screen industry as they are trying to have a collective voice. It's the old saying of apes single weak, apes together strong. There are a total of 12 staff in the Guild. and they range from board members to executive director. There are 6 board members overall, and they all have plenty of experience in screenwriting, and some have won awards like Aloha, who won an award for Best Play at the 2015 SWANZ Awards, and Renee won a SWANZ award for Best Unproduced Pilot. Next slide. There's also Alice Sherman, the executive producer Claire Moore, membership manager Fiona Samuel, co-president, and Rachel Lane, vice president. There are a few members of the board who have had great success after joining the guild. For example, co-president David Mania, who won the Adam Award for Best New Zealand Play and New Zealand Radio Award for Best Dramatic Production. Also Pip Hall, Southern representative, who has received New Zealand's Bruce Mason Award by having successful members on the board. It encourages other members to join the guild. Some of these successful members also include Taika Waititi and Peter Jackson. All of them are in the Writers Guild and are still paying their dues to them. Since being created in 1975, the Guild has advocated for the rates and conditions for screenwriters in the film industry. New Zealand Writers Guild was the first organisation in New Zealand to do this. Overall, the Writers Guild protects and supports writers in film. They provide many services, they run events, and they give advice. Thank you very much.
And that was the conclusion, right?
That was
Yes.
the conclusion.
Yay. Thank you, guys.